Paul came home from work today with a bunch of olive branches. He had to prune a tree to render a wall. So now he's going to propagate them, and so we can have an olive grove. No idea what the variety is, but we need to strip the lower 2/3 of the leaves off. We'll probably just leave them in water tonight, but then we'll dip them in rooting hormone and pot them up. He also has to prune a mulberry tree in the next few weeks, so we'll be propagating that too. Today's been a quiet day, feeding the calves, feeding a million chickens, and just general farm chores, getting escaped sheep back into the paddock and stuff. But I also took the kids to the local library, and I had ordered in a couple of books, and I got this DVD, Establishing a Food Forest by Jeff Wharton, so I'm excited to watch that tonight if I can stay awake. Natural farming and sustainable living, looking forward to reading that too. The Ultimate Guide to Permaculture. We love permaculture. And I got a few more as well. Let's see. Heirloom plants. We only grow heirloom seeds and plants. I love this guy. What is his name? Michael J. Rhodes. This is the first organic kind of book that I read. It's not this one here. It's actually called Organic Gardening, and it's a little itty bitty book. Let me go find it. Here it is. I bought this book 10 years ago when we came back from our honeymoon, and I was inspired by a friend who taught us about heirloom seeds and growing our own food organically. And I jumped on eBay, and this was the only book I could find in my very little itty bitty budget back then. I think I only paid a few dollars for it, and I loved it. He speaks about mulch in there, basically the Back to Eden garden method, but prior to Paul Gauci. This was written in the 70s, I believe. And he talks about the importance of mulch and thick mulch and how it feeds the soil. It's an amazing book. If you can find it where you are, get it. He's a Tassie guy, and he writes for our sort of climate, which is awesome. And I actually picked it up the other day, and I thought, hey, I'll look at the library and see if he wrote any other books. And he did, and this is one of them, and it talks about the importance of mulch, which is what we keep banging on about, is putting a layer on top of our veggie patch because we've got no topsoil, and trying to use all the different methods or all the different resources we can get our hands on. So I can't wait to read this book. Here's another book. It's called Choosing Eden. When I quickly read the back of it, it talks about a couple who moved from suburban Melbourne, much like we did, to a farm, and it talks about their journey. So that's, I think that'll be a fun book to read. Another one is, can't fit that in, organic farming, which obviously we're trying to do. So I'm looking forward to reading that. It talks about how to create a market garden and how to get organic certification, which isn't something that we want to do because we're not a farm per se where we're going to be selling our crops or our produce in a big scale. But we do want to grow organically for our personal use, and if we do grow a little bit extra for a CSA box or two. And then the last one is this one. It's called Conscious Gardening, also by Michael J. Rhodes. So I'm looking forward to reading that. I have no idea what that one is about. So that's it. I'll take you out to the sheds tonight when we feed the calves. They are super cute, but they're going quick. Anyway, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Calves just had their feed. This little guy's not feeling too good, so I'll have to call the vet out. These guys are just finishing off their milkies, the last ones for tonight. And these guys had their food as well, ready for Nando's.